Hello Dixie Belle Paint fans, how are you today? It is Melissa coming to you live on the Dixie Belle Paint page, where I am live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST to hang out on the floor and play with paint. Welcome, thank you for joining me today. I'm here to kind of work on a smaller project, which is not a bad thing because I'm trying to get ready for Christmas like I'm sure everybody else is. And one more big piece of furniture cannot fit in this tiny little house. So we're gonna work on a smaller project today. Welcome, thank you for joining me. I'm feeling a little festive. I borrowed my daughter's fancy pants Christmas earrings that I got at a cute little local place called Be Charmed, supporting small businesses. And I am here to show you a dry brush today. So shall we jump in? Shall we play with some paint? Let's do it. All right, so this week I taught a private class actually over on an app all about Dixie Belle, and we learned about dry brushing. Have you tried dry brushing before on your furniture art? It's a really cool way to accent some detail. So this is what we ended up with, and this is what we started with. Pretty crazy, right? It's just a metal little tin tray that has a lot of detail, and I thought that this is a perfect thing for me to show people how to do a dry brushing technique. This little project was finished with 3 colors. It's a very simple, quick process. I started with caviar, did a little bit of hurricane gray, and finished with the beautiful cotton over top. So today I'm gonna do this technique, this look on this piece behind me. Now I know this is gorgeous as it is. It's a wood piece that you would hang on the wall for decor. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's a gorgeous piece, but it doesn't fit with my client's home. She doesn't want white. So we are going to do basically this in navy today, and we are going to dry brush this beautiful piece. We're going to cover all things dry brushing, and I'm also, if I can get it dry enough, going to talk about all things Gilding wax today. So I hope you can hang out with me and have fun. And if you can hang out with me all the way to the end of the video, I'm also going to give you a shot of the new silkscreen stencils, as well as every single color in the Gilding wax, because it is all live today on the Dixie Belle Paint page, and you can purchase your own Dixie Belle Gilding wax and silkscreen stencils live on the Dixie Belle Paint page, which is big exciting news because if you all know me, I put shiny things on everything. I am going to gild all of the things all of the time. So let's get started, shall we? I'm gonna put away my little tray because we're gonna take this out at the end, and we're gonna play with some paint. So welcome, thank you for joining me. Dixie Belle Paint has me live every Wednesday at 3, and I usually work on furniture, but today's project is a tiny bit smaller, and we're still gonna work on it and hopefully get you close enough that you can see all the detail, because it's kind of gonna be a fun piece. I'm gonna get a little crazy in here. So the first color for today's paint that we're gonna start with is in the navy. In the navy is a beautiful, deep, rich navy blue. It is one of my favorites because the pigment is so rich and so deep, you don't need a ton of paint. You're gonna be able to come in here, do your painting, and get away with using less paint and less covers of paint because it just covers so well. So on the floor I have my spray misting bottle filled with water, as well as my medium flat brush. This is a synthetic brush that Dixie Belle sells, and I know that they have been out of brushes very often lately, but if you go to the link that I posted above my head, go in under tools, find brushes, and sign up to be reminded when they do come in stock, because they're dropping them in a couple times a month, slowly but surely. But if you're not on that email list of being notified when those brushes are coming in, you're not going to be fast enough to get them because they're selling out like hotcakes. They are popular things. So do that so that you can remember and be reminded when those brushes come into stock, okay? So this little piece, this little decor, and yes, I put paper on my wall because even though I repaint this wall probably 3 times a month, I knew this was going to get messy on my wall today, so I'm just saving myself the effort. I got company coming, y'all. People are coming for Christmas. I can't be messing up my whole dining room wall right before Christmas. So I'm going to coat this little piece with my in the navy. Okay, so this piece has a lot of grooves, has a lot of deep little kind of indents on the edges. I'm going to be spraying my paint liberally with water, and that's going to help me get my paint into all of these little grooves and all of these little pieces of wood that I want to get covered. Okay, so I'm going to lean it back on the wall, and we're going to get crazy and play with paint. Let me put my glasses on and I can see what everybody's saying, because I'm sure you're all just saying happy holidays and Merry Christmas and all those fun things. I hope you're feeling festive. I'm kind of halfway festive. I'm feeling like a little bit festive, but I think what I need to do is, sit underneath that tree, get all my kiddos home, and then I would feel like 100%, right? I mean, I'm gonna be missing one this year. He does live in Canada. I have twin boys that are 21, crazy, but true. And he does reside in Canada. So since the borders are closed, he is unable to come home for Christmas this year, but that's okay. He still calls his mama all the time. We still get to see his cute little face. But if your plans have changed because of COVID Christmas, just let it be known that my heart is with you, because I can understand. It kind of stinks, but at the end of the day, it'll be better next year, right? We'll fix it up for next year. That is all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, I'm going in here in all the details, dipping in my brush. I find that using a damp brush really helps me get into all of these little grooves. And to be honest with you, once I'm off camera, I probably will flip this piece around and paint the back side. Not because I have to, but because it's going to help me get the paint into all of the little nooks and crannies that it needs to be in. So this piece was brand spanking new. She actually purchased this little wall decor brand new for me to paint. This is a client of mine that I do a lot of work for, and she just wants it to be just a tad darker. I mean, it's fabulous the way that it is, but we just want to change it up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, Jane, thank you. That's so sweet to say. Don't make me cry. No crying on camera. I don't want to get all sappy. I have noticed that my Christmas cheer is definitely a little bit on the emotional side this year. It's hard sometimes to keep it together. But we're managing, right? We're managing. We're doing quite well. And painting is my therapy. This is what I do, you guys. This is what I do every day, all day. And if I'm not painting, I'm probably talking about it. So this keeps me happy and keeps me sane. If I didn't have art and projects and things to do, I mean, what else would I be doing? Cleaning my house? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to clean. Not me. Definitely not me. Okay, so another way that you might find painting all of these little nooks and crannies and grooves will help is to actually move your piece around. When I get to the bottom of this side, I'm gonna flip it and start painting from another angle. And that's gonna help me really see as well where my paint is sitting and how I'm going to get all of these little edges. Because this is kind of like a 3D cutout of a wood piece, there's gonna be edges that we have to definitely see and work on. So right now this navy blue is going on, this beautiful in the navy, and we're gonna actually lighten up the center with dusty blue. So we're gonna make it a little bit ombre, and then at the end, after I can get it dry, actually I have my heat gun over here on the floor, what else is gonna happen is that I'm going to be dry brushing this entire detail with cotton. And that's gonna allow me to really get these details to pop and show you exactly what a dry brush is and how it works. Because dry brush works well on pieces that have a lot of detail. It's one of those things that I really like it on ornate pieces of furniture. A dry brush is just, I don't know, it's my go-to for things that have this much detail on them. So she kind of gave me, the freedom to do what I want to do. She just gave me the color palette of what she wants to see. And we actually chose the colors together from a piece of furniture in her home. So if you're ever having any difficulty, deciding what colors you want to pull together or how you would blend some paint colors together, find something that's going to bring it all together that you already have in the room. Like, do you have a pillow that has a couple colors on it that looks amazing? Do you have, a blanket or like a throw that is giving you all of the boho vibes that you want to pull that color out from? Look at that stuff, find those colors, and then pull them out into the piece. Also helpful if you were to be using like a transfer or some decoupage, if you were deciding on something like that. If you have a pattern on your pillow or your blanket that you're trying to mimic, You can always do that with stencils. Dixie Belle actually has some really beautiful silkscreen stencils that are available now, and they are reusable and fun to design pieces with. You know, let your imagination run a little wild when it comes to figuring out your furniture style and your colors. Think about a little bit more bold, you know, get it to kind of pop a little bit. Think of these art pieces as your jewelry to your room. Don't be afraid of some color. You know I'm not afraid of color. I mean, that's not my thing, right? Painting all of the color all of the time. My hair's hiding my fancy Christmas pants earrings. I really want to like showcase them. I should have put a pony in, but I'm not a pony kind of girl. So how's everybody hanging in? Is everybody ready for the holidays? Are you feeling ready? Did you do all your shopping? Have you lost packages? United States Postal Service, where I'm living, has kind of been overwhelmed with people sending parcels and boxes, and everything has gotten a little bit delayed. I sent some parcels to Canada, and they're not there yet, but they'll get there after Christmas, right? Eventually. Just means we're gonna celebrate a little bit longer, make the holiday a little longer, right? Can't stress out about what's beyond your control. The post office is totally beyond my control. It's not something that I'm able to change. All right, so now you're seeing this gorgeous In the Navy go on. And if you missed why I told you I was spraying it, it's because it's helping me get all of this color into all of the grooves and nooks and crannies. It's really pretty, actually, in a navy, really pretty. Let's see. There is a Dixie Bay retailer in Montreal. I'm glad. Oh my gosh, Montreal. I love Montreal. I haven't been there in ages. Do y'all know that I'm a Canadian girl? Did you know that? I'm living in the United States now, but I am a Canadian girl, born and raised. I love some Canadian travel. Montreal, old Montreal is one of my favorite places. Very pretty, very European feeling, and a lot of fun, let me tell you. A lot of fun. So welcome. Bienvenue. You probably didn't know that about me. I don't know if everybody knows that I'm from Canada. That's the accent that you're hearing. It's not Minnesota, it's Canada. All right, so I'm gonna flip this piece around and do the other side so that I can keep going with my In the Navy color. See, now that I've turned it, I can see all of these edges in white that kind of become hidden. If you are painting and you're not really seeing those edges, you need to move it around. I mean, if I was painting a big dresser, I'm not gonna lie, I lay on the floor and look at the under parts and see what needs to be painted, what areas somebody's eye might see, because you can't be missing all of these edges. So if I do happen to miss something and you're seeing like a white spot, don't stress out. I'll come back in and do it off camera, because I told you I'm going to be turning this little puppy upside down, and we're going to make sure that it is completely covered with In the Navy. But I thought this is a good piece for me to start to finish, show you how to achieve a dry brush. When I do a dry brush, I always go dark to light. You can reverse it and do it the other way around, but I tend to be a fan of dark to light painting because it highlights the detail really well by letting the detail sit dark in the crevices and then move its way up into light. So that way you're able to start dark on your base, always dark, and then moving up into a lighter tone as you go along. So this In the Navy is kind of going in all the cracks and crevices right now. This is the boring part, but we're hanging out, right? We're chatting. We're having a chat about Dixie Belle. Actually, if you have any questions while I'm just painting this kind of one color bit, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm always willing to help you on your Dixie Belle paint journey. And I guarantee if I can't find the answer, or if I don't know the answer, I will find somebody who can help you. There's a lot of talented, amazing people within this Dixie Belle family that are able to teach and help you learn, support you. We have a ton of knowledge in this community. And actually, I also linked another little link above my head in the blurb, which is the Friends of Dixie Belle Paint, where you can head over there and always ask your questions as well. We're all over over social media helping each other learn about Dixie Belle. Okay. This is taking forever. Look at how bright I am. Yikes. Let's see if we can get some of the brightness gone. There we go. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Maureen. Thank you for tuning in today. So have you painted any wall art with Dixie Belle, or are you always painting furniture? Because I need you to know that this is like a versatile paint. You can paint all of the things all of the time with Dixie Belle. I've painted layups. I've painted walls. I've painted wrought iron. I've painted a little bit of everything. I don't think one single thing has ever escaped my Dixie Belle paint. I'm a big fan. What's the strangest thing that you've painted with Dixie Belle? I painted my doors. I've painted a little bit of everything, I think. I'm actually planning in the new year to paint a beautiful accent wall on my bathroom, my main powder room floor. We're gonna get boho, we're gonna get crazy. We're gonna make a really pretty drippy accent wall. Why in my bathroom? Because it's smaller. I don't want to paint a big giant wall. I want to paint a small wall. A big giant wall would get intimidating, I think. Okay, we're almost there, and then we're going to move into some dusty blue. Now you can see why I put the paper on my walls, because I'm making a hot mess in here. A big mess. I also made sure to use one of my brushes that was a little bit on the rougher side. It's been used a lot, it's had a lot of love. Because this is me being pretty rough, jamming it into all of these little crevices, you know, making sure to cover all of my areas. I'm not really being gentle, so I don't want to keep my pretty brushes, my new brushes for this. I tend to like make my brushes hang out in a like, I don't know, it's like here's my number 1 brush, my number 2 brush, my number 3 brush, and it goes in order. Like if it's really old and crusty, I'm still keeping it. I'm still going to use it for something. It's still useful. I mean, these brushes last forever, but I am hard on my equipment, y'all. I'm hard on my brushes. So the scratchy, kind of worn out brushes get kept for jobs like this, where I know I'm going to be very rough and tumble with what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to turn it one more time, and then we're going to move into some dusty blue. And I'm going to get it all over me because that's the way I roll. Paint over me all the time. I saw this funny thing the other day about how do you show people you're an artist without saying you're an artist. And I was literally like, just turn the camera on my pants because it's covered in paint. There's a lot of paint on my pants. I mean, that's how I'm going to tell you I'm an artist without saying a word, is because I guarantee there's going to be paint on me somewhere. Guarantee. I cannot keep it nice and neat and tidy. We all know this. But that's what's fun, right? Get messy, play with paint. Okay, I'm almost there. Almost there, y'all. We're going to move in another color, I promise. I just want to get this front part done. I can clean up the edges off camera, but I really want to get it done so that I can work on the middle with the blend. And then we'll move into dry brush. I see all these people, all these familiar names hopping up. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with me today. Okay, so in the navy, like I told you, is kind of one of those paints that you get away with using less amount of paint on your project, right? It's not something you're applying multiple coats to. And on a piece like this that has this much detail, you're not going to see, because I'm going to be dry brushing over top, you're not going to be able to see any little streaks because we're going to change this. We're going to add detail and make this detail absolutely pop with lighter shades of blue. Because dry brush basically is exactly that. Moving from dark into light, dry brushing colors over top of one another so that you can achieve a gorgeous, detailed look. And the other reason that I wanted to show you this too was because gilding wax looks amazing on all of these details. And we're going to be playing with some of the zinc today and some of the silver. And we are going to be able to pop this color. All right? Okay, so now let's pretend that it's perfect. I mean, it's not. There are some tiny little areas. Like I said, I'm going to be turning it around backwards. But this is the section that I really wanted to get at in the middle. I want to achieve kind of like an ombre blend over top of this center medallion, if you want to call it that. Let's turn this one more time just to make sure that I got all of my edges covered well, because they always hide until you turn your piece and you can see. So I really want to concentrate on the center right here, making sure I've covered all of my edges. Getting this brush, I just put paint on my face, I know it. I know it, just white paint on my nose, surprise. Okay, so let's move into some dusty blue. So the client's bedroom or the living room decor that this is going into is a mix of blue and white and ombre. She's got some gorgeous pillows that are going to mimic this piece very well. And we're going to work on the center. So I know there's a couple parts down here that need to get like kind of hit with some more in the navy, but let's work on the center. So I'm going to take another brush. Okay, same flat medium brush, and I'm going to take some dusty blue. Dusty blue is this gorgeous blue color. See this really pretty color right here? Super nice. So we're going to take this color and I'm going to damp my brush a little bit. Not a lot, because I'm going to kind of ombre this in the middle, okay? So I'm going to start to kind of mix my colors. I'm not going to push this dusty blue into the cracks. I just kind of want to lighten the center a touch so that when I do my dry brush over top with my cotton, it's going to become a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to keep some paper towel on the floor and blot my brush off in case it gets too contaminated, because I don't want a ton of contaminated paint all over the place, right? I just want to kind of lighten the centerpiece, because to me, if it's all dark all the way around, it's going to be boring. I don't want that look. I want to kind of change this piece a bit. So I'm taking the dusty blue and just kind of brushing it over top. This technically isn't a dry brush because I did a little bit of ombre blending in the middle, but I'm just blending this color because I want to keep the center a bit lighter than the edges, okay? So now you can see this really pretty kind of dusty blue center starting to happen. I'm going to turn it again just because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure that I'm getting into all of my little corners. So when you do a dry brush, you would take your dark and you move on to a lighter tone and a lighter tone and a lighter tone. The amount of colors that you use, the amount of tones that you use is up to you. I just want to gently blend this. I don't want the edges of this to change. I want the edges of this to stay really dark and in the navy, okay? So I'm just taking my dusty blue and brushing it on in the middle and kind of ombreing it out. This is not a dry brush yet. I'm going to show you dry brush in a minute with the white, but I just want to kind of lighten up that area a bit. Isn't that pretty? So pretty, right? I'm going to hit it with my heat gun so that I can get it a little bit more dry. And put my glasses on so I can answer any questions if there is any. I see lots of people watching. So when you do a dry brush, you want to make sure that your layers of paint are dry in between the next application, okay? So if this was a true dry brush like I showed you on my metal tray, because a true dry brush would start dark and move to light, and each layer definitely has to be really dry in between, okay? So when we work on this dry brush, we kind of change it a little bit. It's a little bit of an ombre mix. But I just want it to be dry before I come in here with the white. I don't want it to get too contaminated. While that's drying, I'm going to work on a couple little spots down here that I can see I missed. Multitasking over here. For some reason, I'm not seeing comments on the stream, but I'm seeing that y'all are watching. I'm wondering if Facebook didn't update and change some details a little bit. Because I'm definitely seeing when you're all popping on and watching, but I'm not seeing the comments pop up like I normally do, which is awfully strange, but I know that they're doing updates all the time, so I'm not sure why it's changed. But if you do have any questions or comments, you can always send me a message. I'm always helping people throughout the day, and I'm always happy to help. Part of my job being a Dixie Belle brand ambassador is to be available to help when you all need it. Okay, so now that the middle has the dusty blue here and in the navy kind of coming around the edges, I'm going to add some white. Sorry, I just saw one more spot that had a big white spot that I didn't get painted. So when I do a dry brush, I like to use brushes that are a little bit more rough and tough and tumble, okay? This is a chip brush. This is a Dixie Belle chip brush. You can purchase all these products on the Dixie Belle paint page. They're available up there on that little link above my head. And when I do a dry brush with any paint, I like to use the thicker kind of rough brushes. It just makes the dry brush look a little bit more authentic. It kind of really helps things pop easier. So let's see if I can bring you in a little bit closer so that you can even get a closer up view of, yikes, I hope I can open my paint. Okay. Get it up a little bit. When in doubt, hit it a little bit and then it opens, right? Throw it around. Here it goes. Come on. Ooh, goodness gracious. It would help if I put lids on straight, not just jamming them on my piece. All right, so I've got paper towel on the floor. I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer. Yikes, how we doing? Can we still see? There we are, you can still see. A little bright on my face, but that's okay. We can still see the piece. Hello from Germany, how are you today? Okay, so I'm gonna take my chip brush. See this chip brush? See how it's kind of rougher? These normal synthetic brushes have a more like a smoother edge. This is the new Scarlet brush by Dixie Belle. It is available on the Dixie Belle paint page. It's a synthetic brush, which is similar to the ones I was just using. So now I'm gonna get rough. I'm gonna get a little bit rough with this. This is a chip brush. I'm gonna dip it into my white, which is just cotton, okay? See the cotton right here? This is cotton. And I'm going to have my paper towel on the floor and I'm going to blot it off. I don't want a ton of paint on this brush, okay? I just want a little bit of paint on this brush. So I'm gonna start in the center where I know it's dry. I'm gonna take this dry brush. This is where the dry brush technique comes from, okay? And I'm gonna gently pull it across. I wanna start to hit these details. See how it changes it a little bit? I don't wanna stay in one direction either. I'm not gonna stay in one direction. I'm gonna move my brush from left to right, helping these details pop. Because my project is dry, remember I hit it with my heat gun so that it would dry, and this brush is called a dry brush, which is by blotting it off on your paper towel, you're able to really get this detail to start to pop. So when you do a dry brush, you're gonna wanna gently, right? This is a gentle movement. Gently drag your brush across so that you can hit this detail and really start to make it pop. Can you see how it just highlights those edges a little bit? Isn't that pretty? It's really, really pretty on ornate pieces. And I do a dry brush on a lot of my pieces that are ornate. Okay, so again, dipping and drying it off. Making sure to just gently brush across. So all of this wood carving starts to change a little bit, right? It's not so boring anymore. It's not so one-dimensional. By hitting all these top details, you're able to really, really make them pop out and look amazing. Do you like it? I see some hearts on there. So now I'm lightening it up a little bit. It's changing. It's not staying super dark. We're moving in with this cotton. And hitting all of the detail. And that is how you get a dry brush. What do you think? Have you tried this before? Have you done a dry brush before? It's not hard. It's just waiting usually for the things to get dry in between and gently dragging your brush across. Up and down, left and right, changing this boring, dull, one-dimensional flower into a pop of color. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. I always appreciate you hopping on and chatting and watching our lives. So this is not a hard technique to learn. This is a technique that you can learn easily and quickly, and do this on any piece that just needs an extra bit of wow factor, an extra bit of pop to the detail. Let me turn it around so I can get the other side. And now you can start to see how it went from one-dimensional and kind of boring to beautiful, three-dimensional piece of art. And she's gonna hang this in her dining room or her living room, and it's gonna look fabulous. So I'm just gonna gently drag my paint across. And you can achieve this look with basically any three colors, as long as you go from really dark to really light, okay? You need to know that you need to start with your darkest color first and bring it up to the lightest color, which for me usually, 9 times out of 10, is always gonna be white, because the white detail over top of the darks just makes this work. It sits on top, the darks sit inside, and you're able to get a really pretty effect. I actually like to do this one in the summertime when it's really hot outside, because it helps your paint dry quickly, and you're able to really get this work done lickety split fast, super fast. If you can get your paint dry fast, you could probably finish a project, in a very quick time. So there you go. Okay, so now you can see this beautiful dry brush of 3 colors, which one of them I know is on my face somewhere. I wiped it on there, I could feel it. I've got these 3 colors. I started with the navy. I did a kind of a middle of a lighter view with the dusty blue, and then I took my cotton. So I'm gonna lift it up one more time. Look how much is on my hands. I'll lift it up one more time so that you can see up close how pretty this looks, how much the detail pops. What do you think? Isn't that fancy? Doesn't that look like it should have been way harder to achieve than it really, really was? It's not hard to achieve. It's easy to achieve when you work with 3 colors from dark to light. Okay, so let me show you the next step in this project. Dixie Belle launched today. Actually, let me find a screwdriver or something to open my little tins. I'll do this, that'll work. So Dixie Belle launched today the new Gilding Wax, okay? Gilding Wax is an oil-based accenting piece for your project, okay? So this is what's gonna take your piece to the next level with some shine, with some shimmer, and I put pretty much Gilding Wax on everything, especially the gold. I use a lot of gold. So today, we're going to touch on zinc and silver, because that is her color for her room, is silver. She doesn't want gold, she wants silver. I'm just gonna get this little side a little bit more. Okay, so Dixie Belle released these today. You can get these on the website that I did link above my head. They come in 6 beautiful colors, as well as 3 new colors that are called Chameleon Wax, which are fabulous. I'll talk about those in a minute too. The 6 new colors for Gilding Wax are bronze, copper, oh gosh, I'm gonna throw it everywhere, gold, black, and silver and zinc, and that's what we're gonna work on today. So they come in these cute little pots, which are adorable. You pop them open with the screwdriver on the edge, and you have a highly pigmented shine inside. It's very shiny, and it's very pretty. Because this is an oil-based sealer, you would be able to do this last. You can apply your Gilding Wax with your finger, you can apply it with a brush, you can apply it with a sponge. It's entirely up to you. Heck, you could even use a cloth. So, this is a piece of art. I'm not gonna be sealing this piece. If I wanted to, I could come in here most likely with my Easy Peasy spray wax when I'm done and make sure that it's sprayed and protected, but nobody's gonna be touching this. It's gonna be hung on the wall as a piece of art, so I'm not worried about sealing it today. Normally you would seal your piece and then move into your Gilding Wax. So I've put some silver on my finger, you can take your silver and gently touch anywhere where you want some shine. Now I know it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to see in the light what this shimmer and shine can do because there's not enough contrast, but when the light hits it and you see this brightness pop up on the edges, it is going to be amazing. It is by far my most favorite way to accent and add shine to any piece. I really, really like to add gilding wax to pretty much all my stuff. I think that when you photograph things and you have this gilding wax and you can just see that tiny little bit of shimmer on the edges, it just looks fantastic. So this is the zinc, which is just a little bit more of a darker. So you've got your silver up here and you've got your zinc. They're both highly, highly pigmented shine. So I'm going to use my other project and show you every single gilding wax because I think that everybody wants to know how they're going to work on different colors and how they're going to look. So let's play with a little bit here. And also, I did post a blog post as well as a YouTube video on the new gilding wax if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what they can do, okay? So let's go over here. This is a bronze color, okay? I'm going to take my finger and show you the silver gilding wax on the bronze so that you can see the detail. You ready? See how beautifully the silver comes in and highlights the detail? So yes, you're not seeing as much when it goes on a like-minded color. See how it kind of blends in on here? But it's going to add some shine. Where you're not seeing it is the shine. But on a darker contrasted color, the gilding wax is going to do amazing things. So this is the new gilding wax in silver. Beautiful, beautiful color. Next, we have the new gilding wax in zinc. I'm going to show you what the zinc looks like. Zinc is more of a gray patina, a gray shine, still has shimmer, still has depth, still has shimmer. This is what the new gray looks like for the gilding wax. Pretty nice, huh? Okay, let me just get out the rest of my tones here so that we can work along in a little line. And then I will quick pop in and show you the new silkscreen stencils while we're at it, because why not? Why not? So this is copper. Remember, these are oil pigmented, highly pigmented colors. You can stir if you wish. You want to probably use these in a well-ventilated area. They do have a tiny bit of an oil-based smell to them. Nothing strong, just definitely a smell, okay? So now I'm going to show you the new one. This is copper. Now, see how it's on a like-minded color over here? It gets a bit harder to see, right? When you put a gilding wax on a color that's very similar, it doesn't pop as much. But watch over here. If I take it over here and put the copper on a color that's different underneath, it's going to change. You're definitely going to see some shimmer and shine. So silver, zinc, copper. Let's open another one. Almost down the line here. Let's move into my favorite bronze and gold. This is the bronze. It has a beautiful brown patina. Okay? Again, if you put it on something that is a like-minded color, it's going to be hard to see. But if you bring it over here and put that bronze on top of a color that's different, you're going to see it pop that little bit more. That's the bronze. I actually really like the bronze because it looks authentic and like a true bronze. It's really not terribly shiny. All right, here comes my favorite gold. You know I put gold on everything. And then we will only have a couple more to show you. So gold, again, putting it on a like-minded color, you're not going to see it that much, right? You're not going to see a ton of difference because it's close. But if you bring it over here and you were to rub it all over your different color, you're going to see a lot more. That's the gold. By far my fave. Totally my fave. All right, what do we have left? We only have one left down here, and that is black. Black is got not as much shine to it on the inside, but if you buff this back after it dries, you're going to see a little bit more shine. All right, so let's take the black over here. So black over top. Of course, you can see it better over here with the dark. And then if you bring it down here, it's just going to deepen this because this is the like-minded color now. But you can see it up here. All of these gilding waxes can be buffed back after 12 hours or so and get a very highly pigmented shine. So that is what I wanted to show you about that. The new gilding wax from Dixie Belle is available now. Anybody can purchase it off the website, or you can find your local retailer, where you can definitely find it at your local Premier or regular retailer. My favorite's the gold, not gonna lie, I put gold on everything. The other new product that is available today from Dixie Belle Paint is the brand new Bells and Whistles Silkscreen Stencils. Have you seen these yet? Amazing, so amazing. So each stencil pack has 3 designs inside, okay? You're going to be able to wash and reuse these products. This is not a one-use product. You're going to be able to apply your stencil to your project, use your paint, and then wash it and use it again and again and again. This is something that you can reuse up to 10 times per sheet. So inside of each stencil, when you purchase them, you're going to find 3 different sheets. I like to personally cut these up and stick them on things to like accent corners or to accent other areas. So if I were doing an edge and I wanted just this leaf, I would cut this out and then stick it back onto this kind of shiny backing so it keeps it stick after I wash it. I saw somebody ask a question about sealing. You're going to want to not seal your gilding wax because it's an oil-based product. It's lasts. You're good to go. You don't need to seal your gilding wax. So inside this little package, along with your 3 beautiful stencils, you're also going to get a small little applicator tool. So this little applicator tool is a heavy plastic that you would use then to drag your paint across the stencil and deposit your color onto the piece. All right? Well, what is a silkscreen stencil? A silkscreen stencil is exactly that. It is a stencil that when you peel it back, the paint is going to go through that little silk screen, and then it's going to go into your piece. They're amazing. I absolutely love them. I also have a video up on my YouTube if you're interested in learning more about silkscreen stencils. You can see a top to bottom video from opening the package to applying it, to sealing it, etc. All right, so those are some new products that are available today from Dixie Belle, and I'm kind of excited, and I think you should be kind of excited because these are new and exciting things from the Bells and Whistles line. You can get all of your silkscreen stencils. I believe there's 6 available. Remember, 3 in each pack, and they are washable and reusable. You are able to use them multiple times. And then of course, along with the gilding wax, which is available today as well. My favorite color, gold, of course. Definitely gold, definitely my fave. I will give you one quick little recap on what we painted today, just in case anybody came in late. I know I had a lot of things to show you, but this is how we roll. If you're watching with me, I'm going to teach you everything from start to finish. That's what I do. So today I showed you how to do a beautiful dry brush in a blue tone finish. The base of this is in the navy. We did a middle, kind of the medallion, in a dusty blue. And then I took cotton with a brush, which was a chip brush, and I took that chip brush and I applied a very light coat of cotton over top of the whole piece. By doing that, I accented all of the raised details so that you could see really pretty details start to happen. Then we came in with the silver and the zinc to add some shine and shimmer. I know it's not translating well onto camera, the shine and shimmer, but when this hangs up in somebody's house, it's gonna look like $1,000,000 because all the edges are gonna be trimmed in a metallic and it's gonna be beautiful. So if you have any questions and I missed any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below or send me a message. I'm always happy to help. My name is Melissa. I am the top drawer RVA on all social media, and I'm Dixie Belle's newest brand ambassador. I am always here Wednesdays at 3 p.m. to hang out on the floor and play with some paint and teach y'all something new. So I hope you learned something today, because the dry brush technique is a lot of fun, quite easy to do, and it makes that detail just look super duper good. So that, everybody, is it for me. I won't be seeing you now until after the Christmas holiday. Next week will be after the holidays. So from my family to yours, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you have a wonderful, fun, family-filled vacation, because I think that everybody just needs an extra hug from their family. Okay? So I'll check in next week. And Merry Christmas. That's all for me. Bye.